Hey YouTube. I'm pretty inexperienced with the Henselt Machines deck, so I wanted to go over a mirror that I played against another well-known streamer and see if I can figure out what went right or wrong. It isn't quite a 25 card mirror. I know his list is playing Muzzle from the other times we played over John Natalis, and he's running Neneke over Reinforcements. This game is taking place around GM level on the ranked ladder, and it's the second time Stellabrate and myself queued into each other that night. The idea behind my mulligans here is pretty simple. Give myself the best Henselt potential and the most golds while not drawing down banners. Taking the first mulligan is free, since if I draw Dun Banner, I can just blacklist it. Second mulligan is similarly free, and Scorch is very likely to be bricked as well, given that I have Taller and not ADC into Taller, so that was an easy second mulligan. Keeping Scorch is much more of a consideration if you have ADC, but even then it's easy for your Scorch to be a 0-point play if your opponent also has ADC. Naturally, the third mulligan on Dun Banner locks in the sand. If Dun Banner wasn't drawn here, I just sit on the hand. In my limited experience in the Henselt mirror, Reinforced Ballista tends to be the Henselt target you want. Being a 7 instead of a 6 means it doesn't die in one turn to triple Reinforced Ballista shots, making it much easier to stick on the board for a turn. The ways to kill Ballista to deny it are all silvers, golds, or burning their leader. Having one Ballista in hand is perfect. You're often aiming to deny Dun Banners in round 3, and you'll rarely get a triple Henselt pull through the opposing Selkirk and Death Mold anyway. Henselting for 2 while staying under Dun Banners is usually where I'm trying to be in the mirror, so the redundant target to prevent Henselt from outright bricking is welcome. The risk of drawing Dun Banner isn't worth the upside of trading out one of the battering rams. Now guaranteed to go into round 3 with no bricks, I take my dry pass into the long round. At this point, I see the game is pretty much dead even. We both have access to our Ronvids, both of us have Taller, and in exchange for having to play first into the round, Stellabrate has an additional 2 points on the Taller he sent over, making it slightly harder for me to play around his Dun Banners, and leaves me open to a 15-point Scorch later. The choice between these two is trivial. ADC is just 2 additional points, and since Ballista is likely my Henselt target, leaving in a deck makes sense. Winch to Ballista is great for us though. Essentially a 6-point play that denies a crew for a turn isn't really up to par. It's low tempo enough that Dun Banners might turn into an issue on our side, but we're not too worried about that yet. Often, Reinforced Trebuchet is risky in the Henselt mirror, since damaging the opposing Taller by 1 may give your opponent a Scorch. In this case though, since our Taller is already 2 points larger, we can just take the passive points. Actually, killing Trebuchet can be somewhat difficult. It'll often take 2 Reinforced Ballista shots and half of a ram to take it out, which leads to it taking 3 times, making it almost a guaranteed 11-point pick. Hitting Ronvid to deny the crew for a turn is pretty good as well, since now Reinforced Ballista only shoots once, making it much harder to kill the Treb in 2 turns. Ronvid had a roll to threaten my Treb. If Ronvid rolled next to the ram, my opponent could use Siege Master to give the last 5 to the Treb and kill it on the following turn. Fortunately, it didn't, and our Treb is still safe. Death Mold is one of the most versatile cards in the matchup, and I'm not at all convinced that this is correct, but it at least makes some amount of sense. With 11 cards left, the Rain is potentially ticking for 24 damage if he continues to play into melee. Every time Ronvid jumps into melee, I get to deny that crewman for at least a turn, since he shouldn't want to commit anything further into the melee row. Even if he plays nothing else into melee, the Rain will still tick for 12 onto Taller and 6 on the ram, making my Death Mold a 22-point play. Siege Master can heal the ram, but I still get good value out of Rain unless he heals it from 1 twice. The obvious downside here though, is that my opponent can clear with his own mage, which trades his Death Mold positive for mine. I also lose the ability to kill a Reinforced Trebuchet with Alzur's Thunder, potentially giving my opponent the triple Henselt pool. However, I need to stick Reinforced Treb to get value out of my Henselt at all, but my opponent might still have Henselt targets available. Trading off answers for Henselt seems favorable given my hand. He chooses to play Siege Master into the Rain, which implies that he's trying to clear this Treb next turn with a Reinforced Ballista, and forecasts an eventual Death Mold to clear pretty heavily. The Siege Master play is worth 6-point heal, while setting up a crewman pocket and keeping the Treb alive for at least another turn, so 13 plus the value of a pocket. He breaks up my pocket with another Siege Master, interestingly not into the Rain this time, which is sending mixed signals about his intention to clear with Death Mold. I choose to mirror his play, breaking up his pocket. Treb hitting this Ballista down to 5 is a pretty big deal, as now a pocketed ram gets max value. Another pocket established. This pocket is actually threatening my Treb now, so getting rid of it is a big deal. Ronvid jumps out into the best position as well, so if I want to keep my Treb alive, I need to kill Ronvid and Master. All of the Siege Masters are gone now, so I no longer need to worry about damaging his machines. Reinforced Treb lines up my rams at 4, to make his single crude rams better. No better time to take this big siege master than now. If I wait, my siege master likely won't have a ram to pocket, since the other ram isn't next to a crewman, and his next play is likely ram. At this point, the rain is so far gone that I'm no longer worried about a clear. If he was going to clear, he would have done it long ago. My death mold has solidly been positive points. Stellabrate finds a window to Henselt while not pulling dun banners. This keeps my crewman off the field, and finally kills the reinforced trebuchet in the process. Losing the crew for a turn ends up not being that big of a deal though, as my ram has plenty of 3s to eat. 6 cards left, 4 of them potentially fuel the reinforced ballista for my Henselt to get value. He shouldn't have a way to answer all 4, but it might come down to the winch rolls. First one down, 3 to go. Death mold for Thunder, and Muzzle for the potential answers I'm expecting from him. Realistically though, if he had Death mold, he probably would have just cleared the rain. We take a turn to bleed another card off him before committing, and get value out of our Siege Master. And there's the big Scorch Dragon. Ballistas can kill it, but I still need to roll them. First roll gets there, now let's see if he has the answer. Winch never kills a 7, so we're home free. Some quick math to make sure we're not pulling his dun banners, then we kill his Bork and seal the game. Overall, we had a lot of incremental damage over a long round. Between Reinforced Trebuchet and the Rain, we had a better long round setup than our opponent. Neither of us pulled the opposing dun banners, which is admittedly much more difficult to do for my opponent's side, given that he played first into the round. If you enjoyed this slightly more in-depth look into the game than I can give while streaming, leave a comment below. These videos take quite a bit of time to script and edit together, so if nobody's interested in this content, I probably won't do more of these. Any feedback is appreciated. I couldn't go over every possible line available here, since even just explaining the lines I went with ended up taking longer than usual. However, if you see a line that you think is worth reading into more deeply, leave a comment below and I'll look into it. Until next time.